So in this video, I'll show you the biggest mistakes that people make when learning English and how to fix them. Many of you spend years learning English, but when it's time to actually speak, you freeze, you get stuck, you stutter, you panic. Why? Because you're learning it like a school subject, not like a real living language. All right, so let's break it down. So let's break down the biggest culprits, shall we? Number one, you're studying English like a school subject. English isn't history or math. You don't just study rules, take a test, and become fluent. You think about it. Think about your native language. Did you learn it by sitting in a classroom for hours? No. You learned it by listening, copying, and using it every day. If you only study grammar rules and vocabulary lists, what will happen? You might pass a test. Fine. But when it's time to have a real conversation, you will freeze 100%. So instead, start using English in real life. Read blogs, watch YouTube videos, listen to podcasts, and immerse yourself in the language. That's really crucial. Mistake number two is memorizing lists, and I am guilty of that because back in the day when I started, I did that for a long time. I didn't know better. So yeah, and a lot of learners do the same thing, which is really bad. It doesn't really help because you can memorize 100. The thing is, a lot of learners think that, for example, you need to memorize 1,000 words to be fluent. That's not how it works. Fluency is not about the number of words that you learn, that you know in a language. Fluent is about your ability to communicate in that language and how easy it is. All right. So, So if you say you learn 1,000 English words, but if you don't use them, it's useless, really. For example, you memorize the word improve, but when you use it, you hesitate. Improve your English. So, you're not sure, right? So, knowing a word doesn't mean you can use it naturally in a sentence. So, instead of learning a single word, learn whole phrases. Instead of improve, learn I want to improve my English. This way, your brain knows the sentence structure, right? And so the next time you learn a new word, don't just learn the word in isolation. Learn it in context. Okay, this will really help you. And mistake number three is focusing too much on grammar. This is something that I did initially as well, but I didn't know. Nobody told me you shouldn't focus too much on grammar rules. I did it. It helped. I'm not gonna sit here and say it didn't help, because it did. Grammar is important, but too much focus will slow you down, which I believe is not what you want. So imagine you're in a conversation. You want to say something, but you stop and think, should I use past tense? Do I need an article? Is it a or an? By the time you figure it out, the conversation has moved on. Native speakers make grammar mistakes all the time. Now, this is really important. As a foreigner learning English, because I'm a foreigner as well, we have this wrong idea that native speakers do not make mistakes. The same way I make mistakes in my native language, native English speakers also make mistakes in English. And sometimes when I hear them make a mistake, I'm like, wow, that's not correct. But then nobody cares. And that's the beauty of living in an English-speaking country and communicating with native speakers. Even if you make a mistake, nobody cares. Nobody's gonna say, "Oh, Bruno, you should have said this instead of that." Nobody does that. So yeah. So native speakers make mistakes all the time, but they keep speaking, and nobody cares. So you shouldn't let grammar stop you from talking. Okay? If people understand you, that's what matters, with or without grammar mistakes. And mistake number two is only listening but never speaking. Listening is really, 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 really important, because if you can't hear what people say, if you're a baby and you can't hear, you will never be able to speak. Because before you can speak, you need to hear first. Because you learn by observing, by listening, right? So I would encourage you to split it. Okay, you listen a lot. You listen to lots of English podcasts, YouTube videos, movies, and stuff. But then you need to speak it because you need to be good at listening before you get good at speaking. All right. So yeah, and I would encourage you to speak every day as much as you can. The more you speak, the better you will get at it. Simple enough. And mistake number 5 is not having a real reason to learn English. The reason I put in the work to learn English is because I truly wanted to learn English. I wanted to speak English like the people in the movies. And so I spent hours practicing and improving my English skills. So if you don't have a good reason that will make you spend time to learn English, you will give up because it's not easy. It's a process that takes a long time. So if you don't have a good reason, you will give up. So make sure you have a good reason. Make sure you're not learning English just because your mom or dad want you to learn it. All right. Now, my tips for you: stop studying English. Start using it. If you have an English test, it makes sense for you to study grammar so that you can nail the test. But if you are just a random person who just want to learn to communicate in English, just stop studying as much and focus on speaking. Yes. So, and stop memorizing words. Start learning them. Okay, in context. If you see a word, instead of memorizing it, learn the context and try to use it in conversations. This is how you learn fast. Okay, don't focus too much on grammar. So speak. It's important that you speak, because what will help you to get fluent is not learning grammar, is speaking. Because my grammar skills is better than a lot of native speakers that I talk to. Okay, so but still they are more fluent in English than I am, right? So yeah, this is a good example to show you that having perfect grammar doesn't mean that you are fluent. Okay, and you need to speak every day if you can. There is no excuse, because you can use AI as your speaking partner. Okay, and you need to find your why you want to learn. Again, if you don't have a strong enough reason to learn English, something that will keep you motivated, you will give up, okay, when it gets hard. So remember why you started and keep pushing forward. Now, I have a challenge for you. For the next 7 days, I want you to follow these steps. Speak every day, learn phrases, not words, listen to real English, and most importantly, stop being afraid of making mistakes. This is what holds a lot of English learners back. And don't get discouraged if you don't see results overnight, because they will not happen overnight. Results will not come overnight. It's a process. Okay, learning English is like building a muscle. Okay, you have to work at it consistently for a long time. And yeah, these are my tips for you. I hope that you found value in this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.